Check, 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 check. Turn me up, turn me up. Yep, 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 yep. Yep. Gary D, how's your sound?
It's all
One,
good,
two.
all good.
1 2 1 2. Yes, yes, y'all. ESP, how's your sound?
I think I'm good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Robin, guest, how's your sound?
I'm sounding great.
All right, cool. So I hear everybody in the house. We sounding good, Africa. Hannibal, she gives a thumbs up. All right. Sorry for a little bit of delay, but sometimes we are delayed about 15 minutes when we get this thing started. I noticed somebody called already, so we're gonna get into it a little bit, but I gotta do some mentions real quick. The first mention I have to do is T-shirts. I'm selling T-shirts. Apparently, yeah. Apparently, with Hip Hop Boulevard, I sold, I guess, 3 T-shirts this week. I guess it was sort of surprising. I was like, Rock, you sold some T-shirts, right? Which is what I'm wearing now, so that's why I actually wore it today.
I see the trademark
Show
right
them
there.
the arm. That's right.
I see
Right.
the trademark.
It is the signature series,
Hey.
right? My
And the
signature's
signature
on the back, right? My signature's on the back. And you can actually purchase it, but we need Al's number so we can actually promote that. I can't remember what Al's number is so that we can promote the shirt because he's like, yo, we got to promote the shirt. So we're selling them, right? And then we have the other thing at City Phases, which is the graffiti version of the shirt. You got the number? You got Al's number?
We do have Al's number. It's
What's Al's number?
646-533-9248. That's Al Pizarro at 646-533-9248.
So if you want to get down and you want to get down with the Hip Hop Boulevard signature series, also who's on it is Peso from the Fearless Four. He also did it. Jazzy J's about to do it.
Jazzy J.
BBJ, DJ June Ski is about to do it. And, it's really nice because it helps support artists, actually. So that's one of the things that's going on, and I wanted to make sure I got that out of the way. And what was that other text I sent you? I don't remember half the stuff that I
My
did.
phone just went into an update. These
Okay, all
phones
right,
take
so-
over and do what they want to do.
Well, that's what I have to say about that. So, today, ESP,
Yes.
what is the show all about?
Cheaters!
Oh, no.
And the stories that they do not tell. So,
No.
Wow. All right. So, well, we got a phone call in.
Already.
Already in?
Jesus.
All right.
Wow.
Pop it on. Let's see who we
let's get it
got.
I didn't even set it up yet.
Caller.
Yeah, hello?
Yo, who this? This Rock Logic?
Yep. What's up?
Yo, Rock Logic, what up, player? What up?
Rolling, rocking. How's it going, brother?
Yo, man, you a legend, B.
Yeah, so I heard.
You a legend, B. Yo.
What's up, youngster?
Hey, yo, Sean, I got this one story to tell you about this shorty wop, you know what I'm saying, that I was dealing with, you know what I'm saying? I was fucking with her and the cousin, you know what I mean?
And the
know
cousin.
what I'm saying?
Okay.
Know what I mean?
Her cousin,
Not me.
her cousin
Know what I'm
was
saying?
nice with it, you know what I'm saying? But you know what it is? It's like, I love shorty, but I be playing mind games with her, you know what I'm saying? Because, her money ain't right, but her cousin, her paper is cocky. So, I'm dealing with shorty wop. We've been talking, for a minute. I bagged the number, started chilling, puffing on that reefer. You know what I mean? One thing led to another. I started creeping on my shorty. Now, the thing is, I don't want to cheat on my shorty because I love her, but at the same time, her cousin got fatty, brother. You know what I'm saying? And her paper.
Well, that sounds like a whole immature reason for cheating. I don't know about that, but okay, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, I'm just saying. I'm tired of people in relationships, the dude constantly coughing up the money. So right now, equal rights. All right, cool.
pimping.
Cough up your shit.
It's about the dough. It's about. That's interesting because I don't think we really address the fact that people cheat for money.
That is true.
Yeah, forgot about that in the car.
I was reading something about that earlier. Money was one of the topics where that involves cheating.
Strong underlying factors here.
So,
Really?
and I found that really, really interesting.
It's all about capitalism.
Because I'm saying,
And hoeing.
people, look, man, I'm just saying, I want to go to a nice little spot, you know what I'm saying? Sit down, sip on my Merlot and all that, and play some sophisticated individuals, you know what I mean? But when it comes down to it, I also
Sounds
like
like caveman,
stuff.
bro.
So at the end of the day, if I'm working and I'm busting my ass making that money, and all of a sudden Shorty ain't putting her time in, and her money in, you know what I'm saying? Put your money where your fucking mouth is, then why am I wasting my time? But
Fair
I
enough.
got love for you. Now I build this whole love. So in order for me to continue on with the love and the trust and all that, you need to step your paper up.
Fair enough.
You know, it's hurting. You know what I'm saying?
So we're going to take that. We're going to get back to you, and we're going to hit you in a minute. All right, brother?
All right, hit me in a minute. Let me know what you think about that.
We will talk about it. I got you.
All right, yo, it's always an honor. Oh, man. Rock on.
Love you, baby.
Yeah, I love you, too. New York love you.
All right, for sure. Thank you. So, interesting. So I guess it can be about money. And first of all, I made a statement earlier this week. I said, everybody cheats, right? And a lot of people just kind of jumped on me about that shit. They're like, everybody doesn't cheat. I cheated on my man because. And I was like, well, you do understand. You said, I cheated on my man because. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that everybody that cheats, well, first of all, you're cheating, it's enjoyable, but everyone has their different reasons on why they do it. You know what I'm saying? I have come to believe, and it might not be the truth, but I think that in a general context, men as being hunters, we like the conquest, right? We like the whole, okay, I'm hunting her, and I've got her, and I'm going to love her, right? So I think as natural hunters, we do that. And I think that women, once again, in a general context, I'm not saying all women like this, but I think that when a woman cheats, it might be a little bit more emotional. Like they actually like the person that they're cheating with. You know what I'm saying? Men don't got to like the person they're cheating with.
So, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So, how do you explain hoe behavior for women who cheat without any emotional attachment?
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? You have the hoe behavior.
There's
right?
a lot of that going on, bro.
Yeah, which is sort of become like this weird new generation thing, right?
I don't know about that.
Yeah, what about so you're saying there's been old hoeing going on?
Listen, Maury has been on TV for like 25 years.
True
okay?
shit. Yeah.
Okay, and when they find out 3 men ain't the father, they bring in 5 other dudes. Okay? So we talking about old shows that still are on Nosy or whatever
But I think they at
is.
least liked the dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, men, we kind of can just be like, whatever. Like, it can be made of wood. And be like, all right, we're good. I'm hunting and I'll take that. But I just always felt that women had, especially if they're looking to get out of a relationship, I always felt that they had at least an emotional connection and less physical than what men do. And
or they want to get into a relationship. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So they can be with someone that is not up to their standard or whatever it is. And then they see someone with that standard and then they, put their feet in the water. And then all of a sudden, they're in it. But they're involved in the middle. So it's hard to get out. People get killed that way.
And I know somebody got killed. So, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
ESP, what are we thinking about
I
this?
am just trying to catch the fuck up right now.
Come on.
This whole show structure went out the window as soon as we sat down. So
Weigh in,
it's
structure, and let's
terribly
bring it back.
interesting. No. What are you sorry? It's not you. First
Bring it
of all,
in.
we started the show with a phone call,
That's right.
which is phenomenal. Because you have to be doing something if people are waiting for you to start talking, to get online and talk to you. So that's a positive thing. But yeah, we didn't do anything that we were supposed to do.
Shit went out the window off the cuff.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Even my phone took an update by itself and didn't wait for my approval. So let's just let it flow.
Well, he let it. The caller let it. He
There you
basically just laid it out. I mean, he queefed. I don't know if that means he
Not
whatever.
a lot of people know what that means.
Well,
but
he
okay.
said that. I was trying
got a
to.
call.
We had another phone call.
We got a
Robin.
phone call. This cheating shit
Caller?
is real. Go ahead.
Let's make it happen.
My. All right, let's go for it.
All right, let me turn my volume down. How about that?
Yep.
Okay.
That'll work. Like, turn your radio down. Turn your radio down.
Turn
Okay,
your
we-
radio down.
We got you. So hi.
All right, definitely want to give a shout out to all of you. You guys look great. You're doing a great job. And
Thank
ESP
you.
just hit it right on point. I thought you guys had a structure. There were some questions, and I was ready to answer it. About the caller that just called in, I think I don't know what that was about. But either way,
Yeah, we were all confused with that
I
shit.
think the
But
cosmetic industry has definitely played a big part in why people cheat. Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
Ones for
Okay.
lashes and the weaves and the hairdos and the plugs and the toupees and
Eye
the
extensions.
Beijing and everything comes off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people are not who you thought they were.
Yeah, you can wake up ugly, and that shit is horrific.
Yeah, exactly. When you,
Definitely be like,
went
oh,
you,
shit,
you
look
laid
at you.
down or you went in looking a certain way, and after 4, 5, 6 hours, you know, your face is running, your
Yeah.
hair ain't right. You know, cosmetic industry has definitely played a big part in it. I just wanted to give my little 2 cents, but I'm listening, and I think I want to call back in, maybe, you know, respond to some other callers who call in, but that guy that
Okay.
just called
So
in, I
what
don't know
you're
what's up.
saying is, and what you just said, is you get with somebody based on what they're looking like at the time, and then when everything just kind of wears away, you decide.
Well,
That
not
ain't it?
necessarily looks, because remember, when someone gets their hair done, right,
Mm-hmm.
now their whole attitude has changed, right?
Yeah, they hot.
They have a
Yeah.
new walk.
Yeah.
They stand up a little straighter.
Okay.
Dude gets his
Okay.
hairline cut, you know, gets his beard cut, you know, his walk, he got the bop, he got the 2-step, you know. So, you know, the way you look
Queen.
sometimes definitely influences your attitude and your disposition. So
Got
that,
you.
both of them together, again, definitely the cosmetic industry.
So that's true.
Definitely
So
has
how
some
Yeah, I
long
agree.
can you keep it up?
Yeah,
Right?
What?
that's the thing.
Well,
How
how
long
come-
can we keep that up?
The facade of it all.
You can't. That's what I'm
Right.
saying. You can't.
Okay.
Well,
So you can't be real with others until you're real with yourself. So if you
Hey.
can't look at yourself in the mirror and you can't, you know, wake up to yourself and be happy with yourself,
Right.
then you're not going to be happy with nobody else.
Exactly.
Period.
True facts. I'll take that all day, sister.
But,
All
but
right
if
now.
it's all about the money, he said.
It's all about the money.
She didn't
yeah.
get her papers up.
About the money.
No.
No,
The
this
first
is
guy.
this is the first guy that called in and was like, it
I
was all
don't know
about the
what
money.
was up with him. I don't know. I don't know. I can't even comment on that.
Yeah, that was some
But
character
somebody
shit.
left a comment in the comment section on Facebook. It
And
says
I'm
Cartier
about to get
Hendrix,
to
and
those,
that's
too.
even more of a sillier reason, but either way.
What did they say on
We're
Facebook? What did
gonna
they
get
say?
to
I don't even want to repeat it. I don't even
All
want
right,
to repeat
I
it.
guess
You want me to
I'll
read
read
it?
it.
He
Yeah,
said
read it. Yeah, read
he's
it. Read
cheating
it.
with a female who can give good head. Are you
Wow.
kidding me?
Okay.
What's
Wow.
wrong with him?
Okay.
Well, all right.
Shit
wait,
is
wait,
lit on
whoa.
Facebook.
What's wrong with him? I don't know.
Yeah.
But either way.
Where was that
All right,
at?
guys, keep doing what you're doing.
All right.
And
No,
I'm
no,
listening,
no.
I'm
Wait,
listening,
wait,
I'm
wait.
listening.
Where was that one at? Because I missed that one. I have some of them in print I was going to read.
It's right there.
No, it's
on
happening
the
right
Real
now.
Discussion Podcast,
Oh, okay.
Gary D and ESP.
Yeah, it's
and
happening
it says
right now.
Cartier Hendrix.
Wow. All right.
Because she gave
Yeah,
good
and,
head.
and I don't know what's up with that either. But either way,
So we're going to touch
it's a real
everything.
discussion.
That is.
DX representing.
Appreciate
Shout out
you.
to Rock Logic.
Thank you, love.
All right.
So let's pull it back a little bit. Let's
Sure.
actually go to the questions that we put. How about that?
Okay.
Okay.
And just make sure I don't forget, I want to talk about like these various sites that actually deal with the cheating thing.
Oh.
That's
Oh,
it.
man.
That's really big.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's serious. Go ahead. I'm ready.
Okay, so I'll remind you of that later on. So we asked during the course of the week to pick one question out of these three. Number one was, what do you think is the number one reason a person in a monogamous relationship cheats? Or you could have answered number two, if you are texting, calling, or exchanging photos with someone other than your partner, is this cheating? Or you could have answered question number three, are you cheating if you are not having sex, but you are emotionally involved with someone other than your partner?
Well, so what's that text message about, ESP?
Then,
Oh,
then
you
also,
cheating
it's me
already.
cheating.
Ooh.
Then we asked an
Shit happened
additional
early.
question. Is watching porn without your partner's knowledge
Oh, wow.
considered cheating, yes or no? Now, I realize that people, when they answer, they're going to answer with their name. So we tried to keep it as yes or no structured as possible.
Right.
And to not give full exposure to people, pick one of the questions. We had several people answering back. One of the responses was from Andre Dander. Now, Andre, I got permission from anyone who I call
blow a
your
nigga up
name,
like that?
anybody,
Well,
anybody
no,
who I
this
call
is
their
disclaimer
name.
right here.
Okay.
I got permission to call their name because each one of these people is being entered in the Jurassic Park lottery drawing that we're going to do for the February performance going to the Prudential Center.
Prudential Center.
So their names
Oh
are in
yeah.
a
They're in the
pool.
pool. Okay, dope.
All right. So he answered number 3. And the titling was, and this is the one I was talking to you about earlier. Please help me decipher this one. I'll try to, because I was kind of jacked up. His answer was called Work Wife. I love
I have one.
I
Yeah.
love
I have
her.
a work husband. I do.
No
Oh
youngin',
shit.
no kids, grown like myself, hardworking, funny, and looks me in the eye kicking it. Emotion due to her smile, the only sister who hugged me for my birthday in front of everyone. I thought that to be bold. A real woman is becoming and encouraging. Don't get the message crossed, no sex. Movies, dinner, no sex. I am glad for this forum. Thank you. I am debating, then I am realizing I've been there, done that. Always put my woman first, son. Is it cheating? Having a friend?
Nigga, that's a love letter.
Insecure. Now you see, this is what I asked you. I was like, should I read this because it seemed like he's either writing poetry.
What is that?
He's feeling
He's
all of
ventilating.
his emotions. Let him have it.
So okay.
The problem is he's misled because he's feeling more than the person he thinks is work wife. I'm sure.
Is, it,
Does-
is that what
it's
he's talking about?
Well, you tell me. There's more. Is it cheating having a friend? Insecurities are failures. No man will ever match a woman cheating. Men are boastful.
The fuck is he talking
We tell our buddies, yet he may be the one scheming long time. Watch out.
Right.
It's not cheating, trading smiles, and thinking about a what if. And my favorite quote, twice in the morning I say, I love that girl.
So is it, I love that girl and it's not my wife? I mean, like, I'm not.
Wait. He
Is this
didn't even
nigga cheating?
establish if he was in a relationship or not.
Right, he just has a work wife.
Remember,
She could be married.
he was answering
point.
question number 3. Are you cheating if you're not having sex,
Ah.
but you are emotionally involved with someone other than your partner?
Ah, okay, I got that. That
Now,
was
from
he asked a
reading all of
sensitive
that,
question.
I don't think he was I don't think I'd call what this whole thing.
It sounds like he
Is he
works with,
cheating?
it sounds like he works with someone.
Sounds like some sensitive.
No,
pussy
well,
shit.
no, wait. Because at
Somebody's
at work,
calling.
It's
where-
all right.
Okay,
Hold on.
at where? Okay, sorry.
Who's that?
No.
Caller,
Caller, go ahead.
caller.
Hello.
Yo, hello.
Yo.
Yeah, what's going on? This is a discussion.
Yep.
Yes?
What's going on, man?
Sounds like a
How you
party
guys
in the
doing
back.
today?
What's the
Sound like it's loud. Sound good, brother. What's going on with you?
Yeah, just having a drink.
Okay.
Yeah, listen, man, I was dealing with this one shorty. I mean, nice girl, sweet. Everything was going smooth. You know, I was in a relationship with the girl for like a good 4 or 5 years. Then I realized as time passed by that she was married. You know what I mean? And I still don't understand why she was creeping like that.
Did you say 4 or 5 years?
4 to 5 years. Yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
And then
crafty.
you
4 to 5
found out
years,
she
I
was
in a
married.
relationship with her.
Yeah, she's good.
And you know, afterwards, you know, the way I found out is her husband called me up and he confronted me about the situation.
Ooh.
You know, I had no idea. Now I told him, listen, brother, I'm real cool. If you would have met me in other circumstances, we'd probably be sitting down having a beer. You know, but
So what was his reaction to the fact that, and did you, because I can remember kind of being in that situation. So did you actually like tell him and be like, yo, bro, it's been 4 or 5 years, or did you kind of sugarcoat it? Did you make it soft, or did you go hard and truthful?
Nah, I didn't go hard. You know, I was confused. You know what
Uh-huh.
I'm saying? I was confused because it's been 4 or 5 years. Now,
He
I didn't know she was
invested.
married.
He invested time in
So at first I took it as a prank phone call. So I tried to talk to the brother, try to be respectful, but at the same time I was kind of irked.
Right.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, you know, when I heard about the tone of his voice and the way he started mentioning certain things that the woman does, you know, I realized it was real. You know, and I just broke it down on him like, listen, it's been 4 or 5 years I've been with her, and how are you married if I'm at the house all the time? You know what I mean? I moved
Wow.
in,
That's,
Wow.
you
that's
know,
it.
and
So did he travel a lot or something? Like, was it
well, see, he lived in Florida. She lived
okay? All
over
right.
here in New York.
So that
Well,
provided
there you go.
opportunity. That
Yes.
provided
Yeah,
opportunity.
yeah.
You know, she's over here for business, but that's what went down. And I
Oh.
couldn't understand when I confronted the woman. You know, she flipped it on me.
And
How,
said, "What? It's your
in what
fault?
Saying
Or
how
what
way?
she
you do?"
loves me and everything is all good. You know, a whole situation happened. You know, at that time I was doing music as well, so I wasn't really focused on my music career. I was just focused in the relationship, and you know, it brought me under.
Yeah. I can
Fair
see
enough.
that happening.
Well,
You
listen,
know,
listen, black man. Let me
I'm
get to
sorry.
you. Let me get to you. We got another call on the line, and we're gonna
All
talk about
right,
that situation because that's real. That
I'm sorry
happens.
for your loss,
You know what I'm
honestly.
saying? And we be with you.
all right,
All right, bet. Because
come on.
interesting enough, I
Yeah,
remember.
yeah.
But wait, I don't want to let him go yet because are y'all still together?
Say that again.
Are you all still together?
No,
You
I'm not with her. I'm not with her. You know, but you know, she's been stalking me, and she's been making my life a living hell. You know, every time I'm with a new woman, you know, there's always a little conflict. She just comes in, she
Order
starts
protection.
throwing little jabs, starts saying certain things. You know, I was thinking about putting a restraining order on
well,
her
there
or
you
something,
go.
That's
but
what you
you know,
need to
that's
do.
Because
that's
is
not my
she still
character.
married?
I'm sorry, am I married? No, I'm
No, no,
not
no.
married.
Is she still married to this other fella?
Well, from what I found out in the neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? She went through a divorce and now she's married to some other dude and she has
Oh.
a kid.
Oh boy.
I
Okay.
don't know. It's weird. I'm just happy I dodged that bullet, but at
You
the
need to
same
go file.
time, you
You
know,
need to go file a
the
restraining
wound
order.
hurts.
You,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I don't know because you know it's not in my character to file restraining orders. You know, it's kind of weird for a man to file a restraining
Yeah,
order
Listen,
bro,
on a
but
woman.
sweetie,
sometimes chicks can get
when you are
crazy.
dead because she did something fucked up, we're not gonna be able to ask you that question. Get to the courts and go do what you need to do to protect you.
And you got a lot of music in the background, but we're gonna hit you, all right?
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. You know, I'm at the bar. I was just listening to
That's
what you
do
had
it
to
at the
say, and
Mm,
bar. Do
I
it at
just
the
wanted to
bar.
say what's up. You know,
no
Apparently.
problem, no
All
doubt,
Yeah.
right,
bro.
Got a
darling.
lot to
sorry, man.
share at the bar.
All right, hit you. Yep.
All right,
So
bless.
We
was
have
it?
we have another call behind that.
Let's talk about
So
it.
let me tell you something that was
Wow.
interesting with
It's
that
about to
call
break down. You can actually
because I could remember something happening when I was younger, where I was with a woman that was actually cheating on her boyfriend and like left him sleeping in her car one night.
What?
And me and her went and hung out, and he left him sleeping in a car in the cold, and he couldn't drive a stick shift, so he slept in the car all night. So so I brought him back, you know, and he's in the car and he's pissed off, whatever, and she lived with him. And then I remember he called me. He actually ended up calling me and was like, "Yo, what happened? You know, what happened that night? What went on?" And I was like, I sugarcoated that shit. I was like, "Yo, B, listen, man, you know, she talked about you, just hey, man, but nothing happened, you know." And it's interesting because how do you deal with that when the spouse comes at you and he's not coming at you aggressive? He's not being like, "Yo, man," he's coming at you with his heart in hand. His heart in hand and saying, "Did you do this?" Do you handle it with sensitivity or do you just say the truth? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you do with that?
Well, I think
Yo, go.
I
'cause
think sometimes because I mean, Rock, I've been in a similar situation too. I think when you're dealing with someone, there's some women. I know. Well, in one of my cases, it was similar to the other guy, where it was like like, I didn't know she was married. Then there's another case where I knew she was married, but she just let it go. So
she was
when
down with the whatever.
yeah, so when the husband finds out, you know, you have to kind of like sugarcoat it because obviously she's not being upfront with him.
Right.
So it's like, well, you're kind of the bad guy, and even I think in the situations where she knowingly wants to, she's knowingly cheating on her husband, and you're going along with it, you know, that's a problem there. You know,
But
so
is it your problem or is it her problem?
well, I mean, on one hand, it's her problem, but then at the same time, you're dealing with her, so it's it's your problem too.
Yeah.
So and for someone that's in a relationship, like the other party, like they may be really hurt and not, and I think it's really messed up when they have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Let me interject for a second.
Go right ahead.
I was in a relationship with a man who was not serious about. He was basically, just someone I wanted to just kick it with. But I had no idea he was married for 30 years.
Oh shit.
Right. So he waited on me hand and foot. He was a complete gentleman, showed me off like a little pony. And I decided that he was getting a little bit too, like, close.
Okay.
Because I wanted that separation. I wanted that.
You wanted the distance.
Right.
Right.
But once he started getting a little bit too close, I decided to write a letter to his wife and tell her.
Oh shit, Dad. You see her eyes open up like a crazy woman? I wrote a letter to his wife.
I did. I did.
And
So she decided, well, he drove her to my house.
oh shit.
She came upstairs and she basically told me, like, I don't know what's going on, but I know my husband's been cheating on me for 30 years. You, however, are the only person that has really threatened the whole dynamic of the marriage.
Of the marriage, right, right.
She said, if you want him, you can have him, but know this. All the insurance that he has, his life insurance, is in my name. Everything that he ever bought, his car, his bike, everything is in my name. You can have him, but understand all the things that he has provided for you, for your entertainment, is all mine.
It's my shit.
Okay. She laying it down.
You like,
Okay.
okay, I don't like you that much now without the bike,
But
bro.
you weren't that invested in
In it
him
anyway, really.
emotionally anyway.
No, this is an exercise for her because I think she was a willing participant in it as long as he didn't bother her.
The open marriage thing.
I don't know if it was open so much as she just
Don't bring it
Or
home.
go do what
Right.
you want to do
Yeah.
as long
Don't
as
bring
I
it
don't
home.
find out
right.
about it.
Don't
Okay.
As long as it didn't cause upheaval in the household.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Which is-
I can see that.
But it started to do that.
It did.
Started to, yeah.
But he was causing upheaval in my household. So now I'm like, okay.
So wait, I just want to be clear. I mean, I'm asking. So were you also cheating at the time?
No.
Okay, okay.
No, I was single.
Okay, I'm just, you was like upheaval in the household. I'm like, what's going on?
Well,
with you?
I
I'm
mean,
like, okay, I'm
well,
like,
only
eh.
because I had kids,
Okay,
and
gotcha.
I didn't want them getting attached to him too much, because I didn't want them to think that it was okay to be involved with people who had relationships.
Right.
I mean, although I was kind of unethical, right, or immoral in that
Yeah, for
way,
sure.
I didn't want to pass that on to my kids. I thought it was fun, but not something to teach to my children. So I wanted to separate that, but it started to get a little muddy, and it was not a good deal.
So at any point, was there any type of, on your part, obviously on his part there was there any type of emotional type of attachment that you felt, or was it strictly we're having some fun?
No, I thought he was very entertaining. He
Okay.
did everything I needed him to do. And
That's like,
Look at the
nigga,
word she used. Entertaining.
Nigga was entertaining, bro.
listen, I'm gonna tell you.
Fellas.
No, I'm gonna tell you something. Women make the most mistakes when they're bored. Okay? I felt like
that is so true.
Dude, I was reading in psychology today.
What the-
Boredom was one of the reasons why women cheat.
No
boredom.
Dude.
Boredom is a
is the
killer.
deal.
Look, you want to keep your woman? Keep her entertained.
Entertained.
Oh, damn. You got that, fellas? Listen.
No, I was bored. I was, I lived in the Bronx,
That is interesting.
which, entertaining in itself.
Yeah.
But he provided me with the, I'd say, he titillated me because he was able to do the things I needed him to do.
Right, typically.
And he was older than I was, so he was able to You know.
Facilitate a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So for me, I didn't need a husband. You know what I
Right.
mean?
You needed entertainment.
I just did.
You needed a good movie.
And so did he. Apparently, he needed more entertainment than I did.
Yeah. You know what? That's interesting because I guess boredom would be sort of the number one cause for,
It kills.
you know, someone, they're like, you know what, I'm bored in this situation, let me move on. And it's so easy to get into that rut, which kind of brings me to something that I discovered this week on Facebook. There are pages that are dedicated to cheaters.
Yep.
Okay.
Right? And I didn't know that, you know. And some women are on there and they're like, oh my husband's cheating, and they'll tell their stories or whatever. And we posted our flyer in these places. But then there are women that offer, could be men, I don't know, but there are women that offer their services
Like sugar
to
babies.
catfish
Oh no.
the husbands.
Oh.
Yeah. They get on
I know
they-
a friend who does that.
Yeah, they catfish the husband. So what they'll do is they'll act like there's somebody, and then they start talking to him, and hey, you know, and all that. And then you get involved with them, and then you're texting all this information back, and maybe even sexting, right? And then you meet up, and then booyah, your old lady set you up. You know.
I know someone who does that.
Okay.
But
I saw that shit. I was like, oh shit.
there are a couple of women that I know that they do that for each other because they make.
Really?
You-
Is this a community?
please.
Whoa, wait.
Your girlfriends will
You
set
know how
you
y'all
up with
talk.
that.
Exactly.
Come on.
What the
Bro,
fuck?
like,
You better act
They
like
work
you know.
together. They work together.
they'll work together.
Like
They'll-
wolf packs.
She
I
may
have
think
a flock of sorority
she
sisters
may
that'll
think
do
that
that for me.
She,
What are you
she
kidding?
may think that that you're cheating on her.
Yeah.
So her girlfriend is gonna be like, well, you know,
Set him up. Let's set him
I'll
up.
create a
Yeah,
separate
that's right.
profile, and I'll inbox him. And there's been a couple of dudes that got busted.
Wow.
Like, you know, screenshots don't lie, bro.
Are you
So,
fucking-
dude, you got to be
Wow.
careful.
I cannot believe that you can't fathom that.
I just don't understand.
I'm ignorant. I didn't know until I saw all this shit.
Oh, dude.
Listen, I haven't been on the site, but psychologically, I want
Right.
to break it down. Okay, how the fuck do you think that you're online with a person you don't know, and all of a sudden they got you? How do you get got on the fucking internet?
Yeah, I never understood that either.
Right. I mean,
never
I
understood
I don't
agree.
know.
I never understood that either.
I mean, we are of a certain age, and I don't know how the fuck you get got. How does Catfish as a show exist?
Because people are stupid.
Stupid.
What is I saw 90 Day Fiance
Oh God.
for the first time, and I'm thinking they must have paid these people to get
No.
on this show. This is scripted, right?
Hey, listen, I can't.
Some
get
people
caught.
are
Not on the
desperate.
internet. If someone hits
And
me
then some
funky,
people are just dumb.
I'm like this. Hi, this is Lexi, and I'm looking for a sexy time. I'm like, delete. Like, come on, like really? Like, how do you get caught like
Let me
that?
tell you something. There are sites where people genuinely invest time into talking to another person. And I know, because I've been the party sitting next to the party that is engaging in all of this, that it's his wife trying to catch him out there.
Oh, so he knew?
No.
Oh.
She's setting him up because she thinks he's messing around online.
So you put up another profile.
So you put up a profile,
Oh,
you
no.
get some pictures, you put some information, you hit all of the spots in his head that you know where he wants this to
Catfishing.
go,
Catfish.
and your own wife or girlfriend is
doing it to you.
I know people who have done that.
Wow.
And it's really
It's-
it's not that non-fathomable. People are desperate. People are lonely. People are unfulfilled. A lot of the problems in relationships that cause these things to happen is that we don't know how to communicate with each other.
Yeah, that's true.
So rather than sit and have a conversation with your partner and say, listen, this, and this, I can't deal with this, you're doing this, or I'm doing this and you don't seem to like it, do you like, people don't know how to talk to each
Yeah.
other in their own relationships,
yeah.
but they find it easier to go outside and talk to somebody else and get something
And then,
fresh.
yeah.
ESP made a very good point. Like, to me, communication is paramount.
Yeah.
Anybody that knows me, when it comes to a relationship, it's paramount. We have to talk. Like, I need to know how you feel. You need to know how I feel. And I think, unfortunately, in a lot of relationships nowadays, I think they just skip the communication part,
Yep.
and somehow they think it's magically supposed to work, and it doesn't work like that. And you can't be going to other people trying to fix what you should be talking to your partner about.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
But again, people don't know how to have conversation.
Exactly.
They don't know how to sit down and talk to each other anymore.
And
We used to write letters.
Oh,
We
yeah.
used to, when you had to wait for the mail, you used to make phone calls. Everything is so convenient, and our lives move like this.
Yeah, but see, I think that
And we don't correspond and talk to
talking
each
is
other.
very important. Like, again, people that know me, I hate texting. If there's something bothering you, you need to call me and tell me.
Right.
I need to hear what's in your voice. You know what I mean? Texting and all that, so you can misconstrue,
Definitely.
misinterpret. So when you're talking to me and I'm hearing the emotion in your voice, that's going to touch me. That's going to be like, wow, okay, let me handle this a little differently, or I fucked up. Let me talk to you a little differently.
I'm a little bit
Whereas,
different.
I think that texting-wise, it can be
Robin says she's
misconstrued.
different. Robin don't want
Go
nobody
ahead.
talking to her.
No,
Robin,
I
tell us,
don't.
how are you
because,
different?
Because I'm related to con artists.
She's related.
I know when they have emotion in their voice, they get the shaky voice, and they're calling me, and I'm like, no, you wouldn't call me. You wouldn't call me for any other reason other than you're upset because you want me to do something.
Ah.
I am.
Oh, so that's a different reason.
So you're
Wait.
concerned with the theatrics of the situation.
What's behind it? See, the thing is that with that experience, right?
Uh-huh.
I've learned that there is something that, other than communication, what is your truth? Because if they're lying to themselves, they can't be truthful with you. No matter how they reach, whatever medium they reach out to you, if they're not truthful with themselves, they're not going to be truthful with you. So
Well, I think that's where communication comes in, right?
But communication is, the fundamental part of communication is about being truthful to yourself.
Well, yes,
That's the base.
I totally agree.
Yeah, and if a person is talking to you from an aspect where they're projecting their problems onto other people without giving themselves the accountability, we're living in a culture right now where our whole political climate is, it's reflecting on this.
Yeah. No accountability.
Right.
Yeah.
And that is not the cause, it's a symptom of a bigger problem, because we as individuals are not accountable anymore.
Well,
And cheating is an opportunity to mask that accountability.
And I want to address that.
that's a good way of
With the
putting
cheating.
it.
That was deep.
That's a good
Yeah,
way of putting it, right.
that was some
Right.
dope shit.
That was deep.
Beer,
But
this
you,
beer is everything.
I need one.
you need a cold one, Gary?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro.
All right.
That's some truth-telling beer right
Oh,
there,
shit.
bro.
Oh, shit.
Everybody gets some.
Ragged, baby.
Oh my goodness.
I wanted to address
I'm just
something-
glad to be here, guys.
I just
And we're
Robin, you're
glad to
welcome.
have you. Oh my goodness.
The one thing I wanted to address about cheating that I noticed is that when people do cheat, right, with their significant, whatever, and those people, because you said something, those people talk about the problems in their relationship to the person that they're fucking with. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he don't do that. She don't do this. She don't do that. He don't do this, right? So now what you're doing is you're giving that person that you're fucking with the blueprint
The blueprint, yeah.
to do everything that he or she's not doing. Now, here's the problem with that. If your conversation is based on what is wrong in your marriage,
Right.
once you go, well, I'm going to leave him, I'm going to leave her, guess what? All the wind gets taken out of the sails of the fucking new relationship.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Yes.
now you got no fuel.
You got
Right.
no fuel, right?
Your
right,
fuel
right.
was the hatred
Yes.
or the boredom.
Yes.
Right? That was the fuel. The fuel was the hatred or the boredom. So now you with this other person, and I know because, I've been cheated on. I'm just saying, what I mean?
We all,
that-
I don't know
No,
if we all
not
have.
you.
Yes, even the Rock Logic has been cheated on. And I just remember the fuel was out of the relationship. Once I was removed from the scenario, it was just like, okay, now I'm with you. Now,
Deal with this.
what are you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
now,
right, yeah.
And now the dude can't put up the facade that was talking about. Now appearances are fucked up.
That's right.
Because you were
The mirage is shattered.
the mirage is shattered because you were so busy trying to not be me. You didn't understand that she wanted you to be me.
But isn't that amazing?
And,
No?
yeah.
But once you realize that, when that happens, it's devastating, and then it's freeing at the same time. Because I'm not the person you want me to be. I'm me, and this ain't working. We were in a fake relationship based
It's
on...
a fake relationship.
Fake relationship, yeah.
It was a fake relationship based on your inability to be a decent person to the person that you
You was
knew you
with.
wanted. Right. You did not give that person the decency to let them go. Right? But yet you wanted to keep up face so that you can be fake to someone else. So you have sucked in two people who didn't deserve anything you gave them.
This is a
All
lot.
righty then.
I have two questions. Number one, can I
Yeah.
have my pen back?
Yes, indeed. Yeah, no doubt.
And number two, based on something that you said previously, what dumbass were you dealing with that was talking about her man
Ooh.
when she was with you? I have never, ever heard that. A woman who is cheating or knows that the guy that she's with is you don't go into a relationship talking about the last person that you were with or the person
Oh,
that
I
you're
know
trying
somebody
to
who
get
does
away
that
from.
too.
Yeah, I've
If
seen it
I'm
many
going to
times.
cheat, this is me. If I'm going to cheat and I'm in a marriage and I'm in a relationship and I'm going to cheat outside of that relationship, I sure as hell am not going to talk about what I'm trying to get away from over here to the finance that I'm dealing with over there.
Sometimes that's the opening part to get the
Exactly.
relationship going.
I would have to agree.
You just be talking, be like, yeah, no. Hey, what's the matter, Ma? You good? Oh, man, man, this motherfucker fucking with me. And just that casual. He's stressing me out. Oh, what's going on with him, Ma? And then
Yeah,
it
you
happens.
you draw people
You
into
draw people
your
into your shit.
It's about being empathetic. You catch the victim
That's the damn.
by making them associate your drama and drawing them in. Some people love drama. They just do.
I get it.
Can I-
I get the drama tip.
I have a friend.
I don't understand
no,
them.
I
What's this?
I have an ex-friend that says
Ex. friend.
she thrives off of drama.
Yeah.
Like that gets her. And I was like, you need therapy. Like,
Well,
yeah,
no. She needs a hobby.
she needs a
Exactly.
Therapy could be a hobby.
therapy.
It
Like,
could
how
be.
could you thrive off of drama? Like, or you contrive drama just so you have something to do.
People just don't know because in themselves they don't find anything interesting.
Have you not
So-
watched Real Housewives?
Right?
That whole
So
show
they
is
need
based
to
on
they
that.
need to go outside to stir up shit. Sometimes they may have so much messy shit that they need to make other people go through their own dramas.
Right, but okay, but then
to distract from what they're lacking.
right, but then on
Right.
top of that, to manufacture their own.
Oh,
like,
I know
how the
people who
fuck-
do that.
100%.
Like how?
People do that.
They do it
People
for reasons. It could be childhood trauma. Maybe therapy is good.
And sometimes
They're
it's
just having
attention.
therapy
Or
in a
maybe
different
therapy
way.
will never work.
Yeah, for sure.
That's deep. Okay then.
Ooh,
Listen,
okay.
another form of cheating that I ran into in my lifetime was my poor neighbor who she ran into a home. She went to a home, and I mean, she lived next door, and I guess something was going on, and I heard her scream horrifically. It was like, "Oh my God!" Right, and she was Indian.
Oh,
So-
was it sex or anything? Huh?
I go next door. Yeah, the screaming wasn't sex.
Oh, damn.
Her old man is in a room with another man.
Ooh.
With another man.
With another man.
Oh.
So, henceforth, her scream was ungodly.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? And
That was another
and,
man.
and we were
is
beating my time. It was crazy.
Wow.
And I went in, I knocked, and I was like, "Yo, everything all right?" And I can't. And then she just and opened the door, and I went in. And then here's what to do. And I was like, "Oh shit! Wow. Okay." Didn't see that coming, bro.
Neither did she.
And neither did she. It was just so,
Oh,
like, you
boy.
just see these situations. And the other thing I have to do real quick, Because my man Lazy Lays, he's down in Miami with Black Sheep from Drez from Black Sheep.
I love them.
They're hanging out. They're listening right now. His man Henny, they're listening right now. And big shout out to, because I don't want to forget, because we're moving. I don't want to forget that today is my man Billy Danzini's birthday.
Oh, happy
happy
birthday.
Can I get some applause, please, for Billy Danzini for MOP, please? Can we hit the button? Thank you. Yes.
Oh, that's
Today,
so great.
you know, he's older. I'm never sure how old he is. I never really know how old he is, but now, you know, now that he doesn't drink and he works out, he actually looks younger than when he was
Wow.
older. So I'm not exactly sure, but I wanted to make sure I got that in. Big shout out to Billy Danz from MOP. Happy birthday. Lazy Lays, I know you're in Miami, you're listening. Big shout out to Drez from Black Sheep and Henny, his golf partner, and all of that. So now we can continue with the fucked up shit of treating.
Ooh, this is head spinning.
Some of that shit is hurting my heart right now. I'm just saying. I'm like,
So
man.
let's take another question out of the surveys that we had online, and this
Sure.
was response number one. If you got what those questions were, number one was, what do you think is the number one reason that a person in a monogamous relationship cheats? And the response from Carlos L was, the reason that most would even think of cheating is that they no longer feel the connection with their partner to the point where they don't feel attractive enough to them. The cheating is a validation to them that that they still got it, and it boosts their self-esteem.
Yeah, I can see that.
However, the guilt from cheating may negate these feelings and then creates a cycle that comes crashing down on them later. Some of you guys wrote some really in-depth responses,
Yes,
and
they
we
really-
really need to
yeah.
thank you, because I actually know this person, and Carlos, that was deep.
Word up.
It was real.
That was deep. I felt that.
But-
and
and I-
what do
and
you
I-
think
and I-
about that, though?
First of all, I know where that's coming from with him, right? Because he used to be really, really overweight. You know, he was and he got the surgery done. You know what I'm saying? The gastric bypass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I know that he's probably come from that standpoint, but
Yeah, Carlos gonna call
it's-
in and say that. Carlos, we're not saying that you were cheating. We're not saying that.
yeah, I just want to be clear
Just
because you know I
connecting
ride in the car
response.
with Carol. I ride in the car with your old lady, and I don't. She says, "Look, I'm gonna boss you that." Like I don't want any problem, Carol. I'm not saying that. He just.
We're just saying it was a
something.
great response.
But the response was great and accurate because you know what? You could actually be very, very attractive. And if you're into your mate like that, and you really love your mate, and you're in love with your mate, and your mate is not fucking with you like that,
Yeah.
your self-esteem goes into the toilet,
Yes.
right? That can happen to anybody, right? And then once your self-esteem goes into the toilet, you're like, well, damn, I mean, why is she not fucking with me? Or why is he not fucking with me? You know what I'm saying? I'm dope, I'm good, or whatever. This is men and women. And then you go out there as a man and you pipe a broad down super duper style, right?
I'm sorry. What does that mean?
That means you probably took some
kidding.
Yohembe.
I'm kidding.
Right? You probably took Yohembe or some sexual enhancement drug, right? And you bump them off, right? And then you feel like, okay, you know what? I am the person that I think I am. The problem with that is that because you had to go out to be that, you're not complete with yourself. Because your mate should not complete you. Your mate should enhance you.
That's right. That's
You
right.
should come into any relationship as a whole person.
Absolutely.
Like, this is me. Boom. All right, I'm whole. Now you enhance my wholeness. Without you, I'm still whole. I might not be enhanced, but I'm still whole. Big difference.
That's
you know
right,
how
that's
long
right,
it
that's right.
takes for a person to get to that level, though?
Yeah.
Imagine a 24-year-old person. They're so codependent on their other half, their better half,
Sure.
that they have not even yet developed that level of maturity to go outside of themselves and say, this is me. Imagine a woman who is emotionally and physically abused by her mate,
Sure.
who tells her she's nothing without him. How does that person develop their own selves outside of that? Because abuse happens when a person needs to, they're afraid that the person will leave them. right?
Mhm.
They are so ingrained in their own insecurity
Mhm.
that they project it on the person who they love. So they want to make sure that that person doesn't leave them. Meanwhile, that person who can give more, who
Mhm.
can be the enhancement that they
Uh-huh.
need,
Yep.
is now beaten
It's not
down,
being.
Sure.
right?
Right.
So how does that work? So
Well,
that person decides that, oh, they're not giving me the input, the stimulation anymore.
right.
So I need to go out and just go.
But you got to remember that person, right? And it could be the 24-year-old, the 22-year-old. And I know a lot of you'll consume your content on these podcasts,
Mhm.
right? If you're not walking into that, first of all, it's nice for somebody to compliment you.
Yeah.
It's nice for someone to say, "Oh man, you beautiful" or whatever. That's cool. But what's really dope is the fact that you don't need the compliment to feel good, because that's the intoxicating shit.
Yeah.
Right? That's what leads to the abuse. What leads to the abuse is, oh yeah, oh mama, oh man, you so beautiful, da da da. Oh, your clothes, your hair, your eyes, your this, your that, and the dude is kicking the game, right? And you're buying into the game, and every time he says something, you feel better and better and better and better, and you want to be with them. But the intoxicating part is you continue to need them to do that. So then when they turn on your ass, now you're living off of the past intoxication, right? It's like the first time you take a drink, right? You always trying to get back to the first drink, because guess what? Your first drink ain't as dope as the one I'm having today.
But isn't that what cheating is?
That is, yeah, that that
Isn't that what cheating is?
That's
Getting
it.
back to the intoxicating
That-
dopamine
dopamine feeling, right?
Yes.
You get
Everything
back to the
you
thing.
just said is abuse, but everything is it's abuse until it's laid out in the open and you're caught.
Right.
All of those things that you just said about looking at those little outside influences to make you feel good.
Good. That's right.
It's abuse to your partner, but for you, it's that temporary high, right?
It's the dopamine. It's the intoxication of it.
It's good and it feels great until you get caught.
Till you get, yeah, when you get caught, then it's fucked up.
It's abuse to your partner because your partner already knows you're cheating,
Right.
right? But until you get caught, you're not feeling the repercussions until you feel the pain.
And then you got to make that decision. But that's what I'm saying with it. It's like that's how someone gets caught up. Now, you're right. In that relationship, now the woman or the person that is beaten down decides to go and get her or his drug from somebody else.
But
Right? And it doesn't even have to be, you understand something? It doesn't have to be that this dude is just so abusive. It's just, let me give a little bit of normalcy to that. It could just be the guy that became verbally abusive, becomes a guy that sits and watches TV and pays you no attention, but he was the sweetest thing when you met him in the beginning, which was the intoxicating part that made you fall in love with him in the first place. So what do? You go out to get intoxicated.
That's true. And look at these stories about how women who end up dead, right? Because their mate found someone else, and then they turn into this monster to the wives, and then all of a sudden, you find out the wife is missing, and yet the husband's got a girlfriend, right? So you can sometimes that outside impulse, that feed that you get,
Right.
can make things turn into a life of its own. The partner may know that they're feeling a certain kind of way because their partner's changed, their behavior's changed.
Sure.
So whatever feedback that they're getting or impulse or stimulation they're getting is turning them into someone else. That partner knows something's wrong.
For sure.
So cheating may not always be the necessary outcome if you're true to yourself. You say to that woman, look, I don't love you anymore. We have 3 kids together. And you know what? I think that the best thing for you is for me to not hurt you anymore. I'll walk away. It's not going to fucking kill her. The only thing that will kill her is you. But emotionally, she'll get over it. Maybe
sure.
or maybe not. Right?
Or maybe the truth in that conversation provides an opportunity
Right.
to
To
go,
fix it.
let's fix this
Right,
shit.
to
You know what I'm
fix it.
saying?
Right.
Like, okay, you know what? Word,
But
what's
that
going
means
on with you?
accountability. Yeah?
That means accountability.
Well,
You want to blame
it
somebody.
shouldn't even have to. When you're in a relationship, it shouldn't get to a point, at least in my opinion, that where you feel you have to go outside because your partner's not paying attention to
Right.
you.
Right.
Where you're feeling neglected. You're in a relationship, but you feel alone.
Right.
It's not as rosy and nice as it was in the beginning. So, you're supposed to be able to have the communication with your partner so it doesn't go south or start to go south
Yeah.
or
100%.
you start to feel neglected. So,
Yeah.
because I mean, even years ago when I had cheated, the relationship was practically done.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It was over.
It was done. So at that point, I didn't care. You understand?
But do you think had you had, and maybe, and I don't know the context of what's happening with that, but do you think if you went home or went to the woman and said, "Hey, mom, you know what? I ain't feeling your ass no more. You're stupid." You know what I'm saying? And didn't cheat or said whatever you're gonna say, right? And just let it out on the table and say, "This is why I think our shit isn't working." That maybe that would have provided an opportunity for you guys to come to the table and go, you know what? Because guess what? If you know it ain't working, she know it ain't working.
Right.
That shit ain't been working for a long time. It been broke for a hot minute.
Yeah.
So let's, instead of avoiding the conversation, let's address it, jump into it, and go, listen, this shit ain't working. Where we going with this? Before I add an extra entity into this, where accountability is fucked up, right? Because now, if you get busted for cheating, everything else that's wrong with the relationship, now it's on you. Oh, you cheated on me, and that's why you left, or that's why I left you. Versus you going, you know what? Before I go hump somebody else, I'm gonna tell you why this shit is fucked up.
Yes.
Well,
That's correct.
exactly. Well, see, this and her and I had the conversation. I spoke to her, and it was like, okay, I gave her the benefit of the doubt, and it's like, well, all right, now you're not listening. So at that point, it's like,
Well, then that's different. Yeah.
then it's like, all
I
right.
mean, you had a
gotta-
conversation, like you're not listening.
Yeah, like after I talk to you, and if you tell me, yeah, I understand, let's work together and make it work, and I believe you, and we move forward to go make it work, and then you go back to what you're doing, I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah, it becomes all right. You know what? This isn't working. And I
yeah,
can feel
like
that.
I'm like I can't do this no more.
I
So
can-
that,
I just feel like-
you're showing me that you don't care.
But I feel like at that stage of the game, just to be, clear with it, that at that stage of the game, it should have been like, you know what? I'm not going to cheat on you. I'm fucking leaving you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm out. Like, that's all I'm saying.
Well, yeah.
I mean, the cheating part, it is what it is. That's how we grow as people. But I think it should be more of that going on in the world. But people, a lot of times, they don't want to take that step out and just jump into the abyss, and they don't know what's happening behind them. Even in spite of, because that's comfortability, right?
Right.
When you're home, there's comfort,
Right.
But sometimes you got to be like, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm jumping into the abyss. And here's the deal: you can find there's somebody for anybody. You can find somebody.
And not only that, but I think that once you sit a person down and say this is not working, you don't destroy a relationship. You actually build a stronger
relationship.
one.
That's right.
So you may not.
I agree.
Look, you may say this is not working, but years from now, you may still be friends.
Right.
Because that person appreciates the fact that you say, you know what, instead of, dragging me through this, I was glad that you were honest with me.
Right.
You know,
didn't fuck with me.
Because look, after a certain age, there's no victims, there's only volunteers.
I'm stealing that. I'm stealing that. That's good. I love that.
I love it.
There's no-
I'm so ripping that off on Facebook tomorrow. There's no victims, there's volunteers.
Oh,
straight
my
facts.
goodness.
Done, and I'm signing my fucking name to it. Rock Logic. It's too dope for me to give you credit, Robin.
Too late. I said it already. So fuck off.
And Lori must be feeling better because Lori just gave you 100% twice on that comment. Hi, Lori. Nice to see you online.
Hi, Lori.
She's out of the hospital,
Oh,
right?
Yes,
wow.
yes.
Who's
yes.
Lori?
Lori is my dear friend at Feld Entertainment. She's the one that has hooked us up with the tickets for Jurassic World
Nice.
and some of the other wonderful Feld Entertainment shows
Well, hi,
for
Lori.
2020.
Yeah, I
she
love
hooked it up. We're
Lori.
doing that, and we're doing the monster trucks thing
Yeah, the monster truck.
when that comes to the
Yeah.
Barclays.
Oh,
so.
my grandson loves monster trucks.
Yep. So
One,
she's
one of
I
my
wanna
friends
go.
in my subgroup said, "You're pretty quiet, ESP."
Sorry.
I'm pretty. No. That's perfectly fine. I'm pretty quiet because I'm from a whole different school of thought,
Right.
and I'm letting this play out because I come from the standpoint of polygamy.
Ooh.
I
we
was
gotta get in
raised.
this. Go. Multiple shit.
Look at
Rock's face.
Go.
And now you know why I kept quiet. Because
No,
he
I'm
goes
all
on
into it.
She
all
blew the
that.
show up, baby.
No, I'm
Come
all
on,
into
let's
it.
talk.
I'm all into it.
I do not believe that the natural order of man says that he is supposed to be with one person.
Or one woman
Sorry,
should be
I
with one
offended
man.
all of the
Nope.
Christians.
Nope. It's
But
true.
they are not built that way. And as soon
That's
as
true.
you ladies come to the understanding
Yes.
that men are built with multiple interests. Listen, Solomon had hundreds of wives and concubines.
And
Get
he-
biblical.
All the great men in the scripture, whether it be the Bible, the Sufi, you name it, had multiple women because they have multiple facets of their lives. Each woman played a different role in each level of their life. Some of them were for procreation. Some of them were for entertainment. Some of them were for business purposes. Some of them were for pushing the man and holding him up. You taking
We gotta film this
see,
shit.
This is why I kept quiet.
No,
because
it's
y'all
so
can't
good.
say-
This is
he
epic.
messes
This is
with
good.
everything.
This good. This
But
good.
the women of today
I
do
love
not
this.
understand. You cannot come into a relationship feeling that you can be everything to this one person.
That's correct.
You're gonna hurt yourself.
That's some deep
because
shit.
you can't be everything to yourself. How you gonna be everything to somebody else? That's number one. Number two, you're not equipped in the way that he's equipped, and he's not equipped in the way that you're equipped
Right.
to deal with life and to deal with situations. So sometimes I see the phone
Yep.
call, but
But
that phone
finish
call's
that
gonna
out.
have to
Just
wait.
finish it. Finish.
Sometimes you just
Come
kind of
on,
have
girl.
to sit back, talk to each other, and find out what is it that you need.
She
What
made
can
niggas
I
call.
provide?
Yeah, that's true. But wait, I got a counterpoint.
Thank you.
Because a man with multiple
Who's on the
wives
phone?
can have many children,
Up.
right? That he may not be able, his resources may not be able to stretch that far.
Mm-hmm.
My point of view is, if a woman has multiple men, she can keep the population down by not having so many children that the resources doesn't spread too much.
I'm gonna deal with that in a minute.
Now,
But I need the phone. Who's on the phone? Who's on the phone?
Caller,
Take that
caller.
call.
Hi, this is Crystal. Is this Rock Logic, ESP, and Gary D?
It
Yeah.
sure is.
Yep, it is
We're here.
indeed. And we have
Hey,
Robin. She
guys.
came
And we got
to hang
Robin.
out. What's up?
And Robin.
And Robin. Hi, Robin.
Hi.
I'm very excited to be calling. Thank you. I have a story for you guys. I just wanted to say to Rock Logic, I really enjoy your music. I heard a song you recently did with the God Burns out in Queens. I think it was Slow Down. It was dope.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
I just wanted to shout you out for that.
Yep, yep.
But getting back to the topic at hand, I have a couple of friends in a situation. I chose not to get involved in it, but my female friend has been in a relationship with a guy, a nice guy. I'm friends with both of them, and and they've been together for a couple of years now. First couple of years, she's very insecure about her
Okay.
body and her hair and all that stuff. Anyway, long story short, she had some work done, and she looks really good now, like really, really good.
Okay.
And her confidence seems to have improved a lot. But I noticed over the last couple of months, my guy friend seems to think that she's cheating on her.
Of course, because he had
And
to
I
rebuild
agree.
herself.
I was kind of skeptical at first, but I
He
agree that her
dated the
behavior's
ugly
been kind
girl,
of
and now she's a
yeah, it's been out
swan.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
She's got new
So
tits and shit.
He was attracted to the ugly girl
Right. And
because she
now-
wasn't a threat.
Right.
Now that she's the pretty girl, he's in
Insecure.
line now.
First of all,
Girl
He's
I
was
was
in
gonna say,
line. He's
ugly
got to
enough.
step his formation.
he probably should not have brought her those new tits. Let's just start there. Just left her ugly. Just stand safe. But now, has he?
You're such an ass,
Has he? I mean, has he figured out that she actually is cheating, or is it just he suspects it, based on his own insecurity?
I think it's based off of his, her behavior changing. She's going out a lot more. She's talking
She's
to a lot of
smelling her
guys.
ass.
He's been through her phone. He's been through all that kind of drama,
Gotcha.
and it's all kind of fresh. I think that he might be onto something,
Right.
but I feel like it's not my place to say anything. And I guess I kind of understand where she's coming from. I think when she got into that relationship, she didn't really feel good about herself, maybe.
He knew
And
that, though.
getting the work. I didn't think there's anything wrong with her getting the work done. But now maybe she just has to decide, like, does she want to be single and kind of do her thing,
Right.
or does she want to stay in this relationship and be committed to somebody who loved her before she was
Can I ask you something?
transformed?
Did
I don't
he
know.
pay for it? Did he pay for the work that she
No,
had
no,
done?
no.
Okay.
Oh.
So he had her create. Basically, he made his own Frankenstein, and now the monster's starting to walk and get the reaction from the crowd. So you seem to know what's going on without blowing yourself up.
She's caught in the middle.
Yeah, don't blow it up. Don't blow it up.
So you know what? You don't get caught in the middle. You need to keep your mouth shut. All right? So
Okay.
that's what
I-
you're asking us.
But I think she's on the side of the male friend.
Yeah, and I think maybe her attitude is getting different toward her as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you in a relation? Let me ask you something, because here's a downfall that women who are dedicated to friendship like you get caught in. And I've been in the situation that you've been in and have gotten slapped for it. But I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to ask you 3 questions. And you don't have to answer, but I want you to think about it. Number 1, do you know if something's going on? Number 2, are you feeling that your friend, because both of them sound like your friend, but one of them had to be your friend first, are you feeling that your friend is wrong for it? Number 3, you want to tell somebody in the relationship what's going on. Now, can you answer yes to any of those questions? I don't want to know which one you're answering yes to. If you can answer yes to yourself to any of those questions, keep your mouth shut. Because here's the reason why. Here's the reason why. If you go against the girlfriend to the guy, she's going to say you wanted to be with him, so that's why you fucked everything up. That's number 1.
Yes, that's what I'm concerned about.
Then you shouldn't be concerned about it. Do you have a relationship?
No, so I know exactly what that would look
Okay.
like.
She's a
you know?
single
We're not
friend.
even going to finish with this.
Yeah,
Keep
damn.
your
Yeah.
mouth
Mm.
shut.
Yeah, don't tell nobody, baby.
Yeah, you're
Let
the
it
single
play out.
friend. You can't do that.
If you're friend to him, be friend to him. If you're friend to her, be friend to her.
Neutral.
You don't know nothing.
Yep.
Keep your mouth shut, because when they go to fight and when they go to bring it to the ring, your ass is going to be stuck in the middle.
Yep, they're gonna be like, she desperate. She just needs you. She wants you.
Yeah. You're going to catch the blame.
Mama, we want to thank you
there's no
for
way.
calling, because we got another call coming. Thank you for calling, baby.
All right, thank you.
I hope
All right,
that
bye-bye.
helped.
Don't be the single
It was
only
helpful. I'll
friend.
take
All
that
right,
in
just
mind.
All right.
and go find your relationship. Go do
Yeah,
you,
don't
baby.
be a scapegoat, girl.
Next call.
Thanks,
Caller.
y'all. Have a good night.
You
You
too,
too.
dear.
Yep.
All right.
What do you have
Caller.
on the back? All right, we lost that one.
I turned around and they'll call back. Call whoever that was. Call back. We really do
Hit
want to
it
hear
again.
from you.
So
I
that was
turned around. There's a
interesting.
camera in my face.
That was
Right.
interesting, huh?
So polygamy.
Oh,
I
there
was
goes
just
the
gonna
call.
say,
There
yeah.
goes the call. There goes the call.
All right,
Hit it.
Caller.
you're on the air.
What's going on, man?
Who's this?
I'm live. Okay, what's going on? Shout out, man. This Matt Dice, man, from North Carolina.
All right, all right,
Where in
all
North
right.
Carolina? Where?
I'm in the Outer Banks.
Is that what near the south or the east?
Or the north?
No, on the east side.
Are you near
It's a little
Gaston?
island.
Okay.
Right
All right.
by not too far from Elizabeth City. I don't know
Oh.
if you know where that's at.
Nah. What's happening, brother? What's going on with you?
Talk to us.
What's going on? All right, so look, man. First I want to say, man, I've been rocking with y'all for a minute. You know what I mean?
Well, thanks for the
And
support.
I think y'all doing a wonderful, wonderful job. And this show about them cheaters, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
We talking about them cheaters. So look, I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. See, look, as a young man, I'm a little older now, but as a young lad, I used to, I did some things that I ain't proud of, especially when it comes to my wife. We've been together 20 years.
Ooh,
And
Wow.
everybody go
Congrats.
through situations
you
where they
grown.
make mistakes, but if you bounce back from them,
Mhm.
you know what I mean, and you can still work it through, then that's a good thing right there.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
So, are you saying that you stepped out on your old lady? You stepped out on your wife?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. I definitely did.
More
I
than
regret
once?
it, though.
It happened more than one time?
You know what I mean?
Did it happen more than one time, or was it one step? Was it one
Yeah.
step, two steps, three
No,
steps?
a couple times.
Okay.
It
Okay.
was
Alright.
2 steps.
But you're still
You know
with
what?
her.
Because, see, we
She's
was
still
together
with
when we
him.
were teenagers, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. That's
So-
young love.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
young
Are
love.
y'all
Yeah,
still
so,
together
you know,
now?
Yes, we are. Actually, yes, we are.
Okay.
So did she
We've
ever
been together 20 years.
did she ever bust you cheating?
She called me the first time I ever did it. She called me.
Okay. And you know what's
Caught me
important about that?
Butt naked in the
How-
shit closet.
Oh Lord.
Well, now.
Alrighty then.
So you were butt naked in the chick closet. See now I'm like, so what did you do?
I feel like I should be singing Shaggy now.
What did you do?
I was on that Shaggy. I was like, it wasn't.
It wasn't
You
me.
wasn't
What's
me.
you?
And he was
Butt
on
ass
some Yoda
naked.
shit.
Wow.
Yoda.
Right. You trying to Jedi mind trick her ass.
Oh, boy.
It's not me.
I
I'm
tried,
not
but it
naked.
ain't working.
You
Right.
didn't see that.
It's all in the illusion.
That wasn't me.
That wasn't me.
I ain't,
What are you
do I have
talking
a
about?
twin
Okay, so
somewhere?
sweetie, what are you telling us? What
Well,
do you
here's-
want us to know?
You know what I wanted to know? I wanted to know, how did y'all work through that? How did y'all work
Because
through
I don't
that?
think that he would have ever forgave her.
Right. If
if
she
that
would
was-
have done it.
Nah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have. You know
Most
what I mean?
men-
Like,
most
I
men
definitely
can't.
wouldn't have.
So your
And, you know,
relationship really is because she forgave you. Your
Yeah,
20-year
yeah.
relationship is about her being benevolent to you.
Yep.
Mm.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yep,
So
definitely.
just real quick, because it's kind of one of those things. How did you work through that, right? Because there's a lot of people that are listening right now that are going through the same thing that you're going through right now, that you've been through. So how
Well,
did you
we got
work
one-
through?
we got-
How did you
we got
work through
four
the
kids
the cheating? All right, the kids, that's whatever. But how did you work through the cheating? What was the conversation?
Man, I mean, honestly, I had to really just because relationship is all about who got the upper hand. You know who's
Power.
in control. It's supposed to be a shared thing, but that's not the case, man. We've been together for 20 years.
Okay.
Hold on, the dog's outside.
So wait, so
we-
who
we been
has the
together.
power? Is it her or you? Because you're in a relation. Who has the power? Her or you?
I gave it to her.
Huh?
I gave it to her.
You
You
gave
gave
her power.
it to her.
Listen, nobody gives power, baby.
Well,
Power's
I let-
taken.
So I let her-
Or earned.
Yeah.
You gave it to her. Where do you live? And I don't. When I say
North
where,
Carolina.
No. When I say where do you live?
In your head?
Do you live in a house? Your home. Who is the major breadwinner to your home?
Me.
Okay. Does she take care of your children?
Oh yeah.
Does she make sure that that house is clean, that your children are fed, that everything is taken care of, and when you come home from work, you come home to an environment that a man should come home to?
Yeah. Definitely.
Does she work?
Not right now.
Does she put into the relationship as much as you feel that she takes out?
Definitely.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah. 'cause
If
she
she
could've-
was
'cause
to
she- you know,
take
she
your
could've did me
children
dirty.
and
She
walk
could-
through the door right now, would you be devastated?
When you walk out the door.
If I what?
If she were to pick up your children, pack up all of their clothes, and walk out that house right now, would you be devastated?
Oh, she did it at one point.
And
So I know how it feels. Yeah, she definitely did it.
and
I
were
had to,
you were
I had to,
devastated?
I had to fix it.
And how did you fix it?
By completely, admitting what I did, and asking for help to help me become a better man.
Mm-hmm. And she watches you like a hawk and still takes care of your behind.
You know what? She did. You know what she did? She did at first, but once after a while, I just got to this point where
She
like
still does,
I don't know.
son. She's in
All
control.
men get to that point where you want to handle your you gonna handle your business right.
You want to do the right
You're
thing.
not gonna handle your business like you
And
should.
we allow you
know what
to
I mean?
do that. We as women
definitely.
set you up so that you can function in the society the way that you should be. So you make sure that you don't mess up again.
I tell you, I gotta tell you,
For sure.
Wow.
women
listen,
make
man, I
men
will tell you,
more respectable in their professional lives. If you're
Oh, yeah.
working and you got a good woman behind you,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
you get ahead in life because structurally,
Oh,
That's
in
so
your
true.
home,
That's it.
God damn it.
That's so
you are taking care of your business.
That's
That
it.
shit.
Men
Okay.
have kept, this is what I was trying to get to him to
Women-
understand.
look.
Men have kept jobs because of women supporting them, not financially, but who they are as a man.
Yes. And I got to tell you something. If a man is single and he's been single for a long time, people start to question if their sexual orientation.
It's correct.
Right. If you're in a
Or
professional.
is orientated.
No, but wait a minute. But if you are a part of society, you know, and you've all played the game of life, you got to be married with a house and 2.5 kids, right? In order for you to
Right.
look successful. I don't care how many times you cheated on that woman. When she decided to take you back, she reintroduced you into society.
Legitimacy. That's it.
Yep.
Okay?
That's it.
Listen,
She
brother,
got the upper hand.
We're gonna open up the lines because we got another call
That's
coming
right.
through. But we want to thank you for calling, brother.
You know, I just want to.
Yeah,
and
thank you,
keep
thank
paying
you.
attention, man. Keep listening. We appreciate that. And on the
definitely.
chat and
Look,
all that.
Man, and that what you call it, man. I heard some of that music too that y'all be doing too. It's popping, man. The God burns,
Yep.
popping,
Thank you very much.
definitely. So keep up the good work. Thank you for having me.
All right, for sure. We hit you.
You know,
All right.
when I was on Wall Street, one of my first mentors on Wall Street, he was a major guy in investment banking. He said, "Your lady is an extension of you,"
Yep.
and that was something. And I think because of
That's
him,
true shit.
that's why I'm so picky, extremely picky on the women that I deal with.
You read their resumes and you
I'm
go
so
on
picky,
LinkedIn?
because some of my friends joke, but I
got
say that
requirements.
I need the type of lady that I could go to a Snoop Dogg concert, have dinner at the White House,
Right.
go to like a dinner with the governor,
Yeah.
and then go hang out with the friends.
Right.
Right.
Like that type of diverse type of woman. Now, there's some women that's like, oh, I can't do that. And I'm like, yeah, well, it's not going to happen.
Well, then we
But
can't do
this
that.
It's a whole different society of women. We need to take a step back and go back to morals and order and the way
I'm
that
different.
we were raised.
Yeah.
Because you have young ladies who don't even know how to talk.
That's true.
That's
oh,
true.
God,
But
Jesus.
I got to tell you something. I can have the most expensive brandy with the richest person in the room and yet go home and roll a blunt, right? Drink my douce, watch Netflix,
Right.
and call it a day.
But you're
But
multifaceted.
but I mean, we all have to be. Look, you're in a society where it's a multicultural, multi-generational. Like there are people now who've been in Vietnam, who've fought in Vietnam, the boomers, what they
Right,
call it.
right.
I think we're in between. We're with the Gen Xers, there's the Gen Zers, and we're in between. So we have to maneuver through all facets of society, all ages, and And I don't know about you, but my kids are like 31 and 23.
My
Yeah.
oldest is 42.
Right.
I'm a
So,
baby boomer.
right.
Boomer.
So look, baby boomers smoke weed. They also are heads of state, right? And we have to be able to maneuver through all facets of.
But this is my point. You maneuver through all facets. If you're not trained,
Yeah.
or if you're not brought up, what my people used to say, brought up, see.
Hmm.
You were taught certain things as a young woman. In my culture, as a young woman, by the age of 13, you were cooking a full meal.
Oh.
You knew how to wash clothes. You had
Right.
to press and iron a shirt.
Right.
And I'm not talking about with easy off starch.
Right,
I'm
right.
talking about with starch that you had as a powder, and you had to learn how to mix
Right.
it, and you rub the shirt, and you
Right.
take an iron that was actually iron that you put on
Yeah,
a fire,
stove, yeah.
and you heated. You had to learn how to do these things. You had to learn how to take care of your brother's clothes. You had to learn how to cook. You had to learn how to clean. It wasn't that you were doing feminist roles. You were learning how to take care of a
homemaker,
household.
yes.
And you also had to learn how to manage money. How the hell do these children manage the context of money if everything they do is swiping,
Yes.
swiping? There is no touching. There is no counting of the change. They're not equipped with the basic things that we were raised with. Even in school, you had home economics.
yeah, yep,
You
that's
had
right.
trades in school. All of these things are missing now, and all of these children know is this.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And how?
And then we're holding them responsible for becoming responsible adults when we're
Yes.
not equipping them. They can't even write script. How the hell are they supposed to read documents of law from our culture, from our history of this country, well, history in general, that are written in script, that are
Right.
written in, they can't read them. Listen, I'm slapping on so many
No.
things.
Because I don't
right
know what
now.
this has to do with
No,
cheating.
but it actually
But
no,
it
but
does.
it does.
It has
Bring
to
it
do
home then.
everything
No,
with
but it-
cheating.
because-
I'm trying to say that you have to develop a development of a person that's going to be in a relationship and be responsible
Yes.
for the levels of the relationship has to begin here. All of these components of building into responsible beings, building into good, solid men, building into good, solid women are gone now. They're removed piece by piece by piece, and we're expecting.
I'm just gonna say they even the good solid women and the good solid men. Guess what? They cheated too.
Yeah.
that we're not. I'm not saying that they're not cheating. I'm saying that the development of a person.
Right.
Listen, our parents, they had their little cheat.
Yeah.
They had things happen.
Yeah.
But they had the responsibility and the caring and the knowledge of what it took to be in a relationship and to hold it down and talk to each other and make the agreement and struggle through it and fight through it and get to the end of the line. These kids right now, they're like, everything is just so disposable, well, fuck it, we're done. All
But
right,
that's
we're
a
out.
generational thing, isn't
Yeah,
it?
100%.
Because
And
I'm
these are all
thinking-
of the things that I'm trying
I'm
to
thinking
indicate.
my mom and my mom's mother, my grandmother before her, generationally speaking, like my great grandmother was a slave, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my grandmother and my grandfather were sharecroppers. And the way they raised their kids and the way we were raised, right, are different from the way our kids are raised. It's just the way generations go. Like in the Civil War era, they raised their kids a certain way
Right.
because blacks didn't have a certain type of
Structure.
freedom,
Right. Yeah.
right? But now that we, as a people, have gone into and integrated ourselves into the culture and actually created the culture to a certain extent, our kids are now being raised in a certain type of globalistic way where now we're looking at how people can cheat the system for
Right.
so long,
Beat
right?
the system. Yeah.
Right? Because that's what they grew up on, like Al Capone and Scarface and how Bonnie and Clyde, they are cultural icons who robbed banks, lived large.
And beat the system.
Right. And how is that going to show them accountability for their own selves and for other people? Right? When culturally we've been taught that sometimes the bad guys get away. Right? So
100%.
Right?
I agree with that.
Good point.
Um,
But once again, we've evolved into a new version of cheating, right? Like for instance, here goes cheating. You want to talk about cheating? All right, that broad that went to jail for 14 days because she put her kid in a good school.
Right. Yes.
In a good school. What was the actress name? I can't
Lori,
remember.
oh no, that was the other one, not
The
Lori
one-
Loughlin. She's
Felicity
fighting it.
Huff
Yes.
and Lori Loughlin.
There you go.
Yeah.
So they got
14
14
days.
days in jail.
And
right?
several $million for for getting both of their kids, several kids involved into
Yeah.
better schools.
So this was cheating, right? This was cheating, right?
But-
they what do you call that? Photoshop their heads on the other athletes so they didn't get the scholarship and all that. But then here goes another form of cheating that's not involved in a relationship. But then you have that.
It is a relationship. All of it is
it's
a relationship.
But then you have the black woman who got 5 years in prison.
in Newark, who got 5 years for sending her 6-year-old son into a different school district.
Yes.
And
Which
had
we did
the
that all
mail
day.
going
Yeah,
to. Well, now we're dealing with something more than just cheating.
It's still cheating.
Okay.
It's still
I didn't
cheating.
say it wasn't. I'm
Right.
saying now we're
I mean,
dealing with
right,
something.
absolutely. And
more
I'm
than
not
just
going to walk down that.
Well,
we're
people,
on
people,
this side. You brought it up.
right. Well,
No, but it's-
people
it's-
have a
but it's
right and
cheating.
wrong reason for doing what they do.
Sure.
All around, it's still wrong because it's still cheating. Yes.
It is still
I mean,
cheating.
we understand the person who's struggling to get their kid into a better district so they can get a better chance.
It's a cheat.
Right? And we can understand how money somehow can buy things that we would know. You got a dumbass kid, okay? Your kid is dumb. But yet you want them to be some fucking C-student lawyer that's going to represent somebody that's going to
But
get
here's
them
the
out
thing,
of jail.
Robin. Those
It's
children
cheating.
weren't even stupid. What they did was had bought them a seat on the athletic team. One of them is supposed to be the captain of the rowing team. Ain't never been on a boat and held an oar.
Yeah. And
So that type of cheating, I mean,
the
come
thing
on.
is, though, that working in the corporate world, I know that we are being run by C students everywhere.
Well, yeah.
She's right.
Some of them
I
are
say that shit all day.
That's right.
Give me some applause
You
for
ain't
that.
got- you ain't gotta-
I say that
You
all
can't
day.
tell me that.
Some of-
That's-
some
We
of
the
everyone's-
C-suite world.
students.
She's
Some supervisors need to mop the floor. You know what I'm saying? But they got their own way. They made it through the system however they could, and they got help along the way when they shouldn't have. And that's
I
cheating
agree.
too.
That's cheating.
And we, as a people, all suffer because of it, right?
Yeah.
So
well, when
Like, what do you call a doctor that gets an A+ in medical school and a doctor that gets a C- in medical school?
God damn it, it's malpractice.
No, you call him doctor.
Exactly. You call them both
It's
doctors
still a doctor as long as he
It's
passed.
malpractice.
Nobody cares as long as he passed. But hold on, I got to get back to this. Please, let's talk about the polygamy.
yeah. You do that. I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm going to the bathroom.
Before we bring that
back to
back,
polygamy.
because he wants me to dwell on polygamy, I want to bring back one of our survey questions,
Okay.
and this was Sharon who answered number 2. Number 2 was, if you are texting, calling, or exchanging photos with someone other than your partner, is this cheating? And Sharon thinks no. It depends on what you're texting or talking about. The photos can be clean, respectable photos. Now, if texting, talking, and photos are the only kind you should be showing your significant other, then you're cheating. All right, I didn't fully understand that, and I read that several times, but I want to thank all of the people that actually took the time to answer our survey, and all of you will be entered into the drawing for the Jurassic World raffle, which will be happening at the Prudential Center
Yep.
in New Jersey in February, and we'll keep you abreast of that. And I will be contacting you on our Facebook page to get your information, because we, once again, will put your name into the raffle for this matter. You know what? Before we go any further, actually, I was supposed to get back to you on something last week when I was reading the awareness of the month. And remember, you
yeah.
had the and I told you I'd get back to it. We had, for those of you who didn't see last week's show, I had like 23 November awarenesses. You know, I do what is the diabetes awareness, lung cancer, all of that. I read the whole list. And we came up with impotency. And Rock was a little unclear as to what the impotency
Yeah, because I was like, yo, your Bozak don't get up. Yeah, you're impotent. Your shit ain't working,
and
right?
that, just to clear it up, the impotency awareness is men and women who do not create the components that are needed for reproduction. So men who are not making enough sperm, women who are they're having issues with eggs and need to have them frozen.
They're sterile.
So that is the impotency awareness month. The month that you were talking about,
Yeah.
and I have to figure out what month
Yeah.
it is, it's
Can't get your Bozak.
erectile dysfunction. And
Can't
there
get your
is
Bozak up
an
month.
erectile dysfunction month. But I did say I was going to get back. Sorry, I did say I was going to get back to you guys on what it is with that.
And I appreciate that, and I think we need to, you know, since we celebrated, you know, Impotency Month, then we need to also, you know, address erectile dysfunction, because if it doesn't function, you don't even know if you're impotent. You know what I mean? Like, you know,
Okay.
it starts with an erection. That's all I'm saying, and that's the deal. So please, let's address the polygamy thing.
Yikes.
And I'm gonna tell you what, because it's important, right?
It's really simple.
Because one of the things that I said, right, and I've had these arguments, had these conversations with people. I said, listen. They're like, well, men can cheat, women can cheat. No. I said, all right, well, hold on for a second. What? And I addressed polygamy, and here's what it was. I said, if I have sex with 9 women, then they all know that I'm the father. If a woman has sex with 9 men, she doesn't know who's the father. Just by that basic design, to me, is the premise of polygamy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the premise of it. Men are made to do that multiple times. But women are not made to do that. You know what I'm saying? If you bring it in the context of King Solomon.
Well,
and
is there anything left for me to talk about after you asked me to talk about it and then you sat here and talked about it?
no, there's more for you to talk about. Go. Because you were
Here's
touching
the
on something that
thing.
was important.
You hit a point, 2 points right there. When a man ejaculates,
It's good news.
there are several 100,000 little people, sperm, created beings, potentially created beings in his ejaculation.
Right.
When a woman drops an egg, it's usually 1 or 2.
Right.
If she drops the 1 and the sperm hits the egg and has multiple entry, then you have a multiple birth. Okay. If you have that much sperm to give,
Yeah.
it wasn't designed for just one woman. Now, I know people are going to get in an uproar. I know people are going to hit the Facebook page.
Shit's going
I
crazy.
know people are going to call in. It doesn't affect me in the slightest. Bring it, because it's what I believe, and that's not going to change based on what you have to say. And I would hope that I'm opening another area of thought for you that will help you coexist in your relationships in a different way. Because here's the premise. He wants me to talk broad spectrum polygamy. I'm going to bring it to you in your relationship. You are in a relationship with a man. This man is not designed to think about just you alone. If he thinks about and dedicates his thought and his energy directly to you, it's because he's made a choice to do so. And if that man has made that choice to do so, God bless you. Why are you fucking with him? Mm-hmm. Why are you checking his phone? Why are you pushing him down the road to cheating? Why are you putting him in bed with, what do you smell like? And I see lipstick on you. People hug him during the course of a day. I hug Gary several times during the day where Gary has lipstick all over his jacket, and it's like I don't compare to see if it's mine or if it's somebody else's.
Wow, this is wild.
You have to keep things in context because some of y'all work so hard to get into relationships, and then you spend the other percentage of the time working your way out of the relationship and don't even
I
realize
gotta
it.
Straight
tell you
facts.
something. No, I
Straight-
gotta tell you something.
Uh-huh.
You are not wrong, but but the problem is I get caught in what they call thriple, where a
is thriple?
woman
Me too.
and a
Yeah,
man
see?
are interested in
In-
having you
yes,
in
you're the
their
third party.
relationship.
It's actually thruple now.
It's
they
a
change it from
thruple.
thriple to thruple.
Yes. So the woman and the man are equally aligned with their attraction to you. They don't, well, for me, they never said, come in my bedroom. They just admired me from a distance.
From
but,
afar.
Right. But I know what's going on. So I'm like, don't get off on me when you're having sex. I'm not interested in either of you. I just...
The fuck is the triple?
Thriple is when a wife and a
Thruple.
husband.
It's
thruple?
a, it's
Yeah, I
a
get it.
three-way couple.
Is that the
Thruple.
deal?
Yes, the husband and the
What
wife.
kind of? I'm just thinking, we just get married and just have like a polygamous relationship.
No, there are people into kink. There are people into different type of things.
It's the replacement for swinging.
Look.
What swinging was a couple of years ago.
No.
Now you
Years
pick a
ago.
permanent partner
Yeah,
and you
can
make
pick
them a
one
part
person.
of the
But look,
relationship.
People, men and women are like primary colors. Well, let's not say that. Sexual orientation is a primary couple.
Fair enough.
One may be blue, one may be red, and in between that spectrum may be purple, but not quite purplish.
Okay.
Right? Right? Right?
You
See,
got
this
call?
is why I
All
can't
right.
talk to them about things. Let's get the giggle.
Because women
we
are...
got another call?
Nah, she's got the 5-minute sign up.
No,
Oh, okay.
but women are more flexible in their sexuality than straight men are.
Right.
And you either are black or white, because in society, for you to be accepted as a grown-ass man, you need to be straight.
Absolutely.
Okay? And you need to show strength, yeah?
Right.
But once you variate from that level, that diminishes your power. For women, we don't have that kind of issue, except for Katie Hill, apparently.
Right. Yeah.
But once you variate from, and we've had this conversation about Tank,
Yeah.
remember?
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Once you go from that blue and you go toward the red, you lose a little bit of your potency, yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
So that is not going to fly with you. For women, we can go from the red to the purple because we don't lose our femininity.
That's right.
Yeah, you're still cool.
Right.
You're still cool.
That's the sexual dynamics of politics.
We had this conversation. We did another talk show this morning, and we had this conversation today. Oh boy, I have this thing where I'm like a light switch. 1 minute I'm like this, and I can be the sweetest thing, and then I turn into Shira.
Yeah,
Right.
they call that shit crazy.
You know what, shut up.
That's not true.
And we were
That's not
talking about the
true.
sexual dynamic of that and how it fit in and how it measures, because you know what? I'm going to address it.
Go.
I know you probably are not going to talk.
4 minutes.
I'm in, everybody thinks that I'm with him.
Oh, with
We're
him.
not partners.
Oh,
There are
Are you
people.
free
There
game?
are people online who think that we're partners.
okay.
He's my best friend. We have been friends for years. He's like my little brother. But we have this dynamic where it's just, you know,
Yes.
okay. A mature person can see
It's
that without real,
harmonious, right?
exactly.
Right.
But in this society, a man and a woman can't be in the same place unless they are fucking.
You know,
And-
that's another conversation for
I'm,
another time.
Another time.
I'm tired of dealing with it because I have a relationship and it causes issues in the relationship. Although he's comfortable with rock, he knows rock, he's uncomfortable with the fact that everybody else keeps putting
Yes.
it together. So it's not the fact that,
I'm
it's
super
him.
dope.
He's dope. They like each other. They love each other. But everybody else around this podcast, and well, not
2 minutes.
Anyway.
And
Listen,
I want to address. I want
it
to address.
happens
My mic go-
all the
And in
time.
that, I just
No,
want to
no.
address next week real quick. So
What's
next
the
week.
next topic?
Next week, we're not exactly sure what the topic is because I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
Can
we're
I
still
pick
going
it?
back
But
and
the
forth.
deal is this: is next week I will not be here. Next week I'm going to celebrate the matriarch of my family. She's 87 years
wow.
old, so I'm going to the Poconos and we're
Nice.
gonna have guest host.
Last
No,
Come in
question.
and like this
okay.
stuff,
So-
You could do the podcast from there.
Nah, you
I-
guys
put
are
it
gonna
on
do it.
too.
Myself
You guys got it.
and Gary are going to be hosting, and we're going to have somebody else in that we're going to
Okay.
play
We have
around with.
Maria's
But
coming.
the week after
we
that,
have.
Yeah.
it's Maria and Jolie from IAS.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
But the
So
week
that'll be
after that, we have Joyce Adewumi, which is the cultural attaché for the New York City Multicultural Festival.
And that's going to be incredible, and we'll talk about that next week and give you more because she has a resume that's so big that it takes 20 minutes for us to even get through this. So
Yeah.
listen,
Yeah. So
God
it's
bless, good
phenomenal.
night.
We got to do a part
It's been
two.
real.
on
We
this
got to do a
cheating.
part two.
We
I
got to
like
do a
the
part
cheating.
two.
That shit was real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And
God
it was
bless,
fun,
good
Robin.
night.
Thank you so
the
much.
real discussion
I'm
with
so
Rock
glad
Live
to
and
be
ESP,
here.
Gary,
Thank you, guys.
D, Robin, thank you for coming in
Thank
and being a
you.
guest. All
Thank
right.
you. I'm really honored to be here. Thank you so much, guys. For letting me
Peace.
talk.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.